Lesotho. It has been a fantastic affair thus far, and this is match number 6, although the 7th match in the entire tournament.
Please stand for the national anthem of Malawi. And now, the national anthem of Lesotho.
Lesotho proudly singing their national anthem, rising to the moment. Two nations that are united in passion for football, and they will continue to dish out their stuff. Malawi looking to build up on the strong performance, while Lesotho also hungry to make an impact. They have been the whipping girls in Group A and playing some beautiful football. And we have a look at the lineup for Malawi. It is a 4-3-3 formation with Mercy Sikelo, Irene Kumalo, Chimwemwe Madise, Rose Alifanduka, Benedette Mkandawiri, Letitia Chinyamula, Sarah Mulimbuika, Tendai Grace Asani, Chikonde Gondwe, Deborah Henry, and Vanessa Chifakula. And that is the lineup for Malawi. Looking at Lesotho, and firstly, the officials who will be looking after this match, it's Lorinda Kalivu, Rhoda Mondlane of Mozambique, Margaret Gimo of Mozambique, as well as Rhoda Mondlane. So 3 officials that are in charge of this match, and one will then introduce the captains of the side. Phuzile Molefe of Lesotho is the captain, and on the side of Malawi, who is one of the experienced players, one would look at the captain there, Chikonde Gondwe, given the captain's armband in today's match. As we have a look at the 2 captains, just making sure they get the customary greetings out of the way. It is all systems go here at the Seshego Stadium. Beautifully prepared pitch. The lineup for Lesotho stands pretty much just spotting 3 changes. The goalkeeper Tabiseng comes in for Lieno Fanyanana. It is Jobe, Ramasuka, Musala, as well as Ntane, Monese Namane, Ramos, Mahoto, Molefe, and Maloro. Molefe coming in, as well as Jobe making a presence, and they coming in the place of Potsane as well as Dineo Molefe. So the excitement aplenty as Malawi look at their previous outing. They believe they have the 3 points in the bag. But what is very necessary is the fact that they need to navigate against a very, very organized Lesotho side. They lost in the previous match, but they played some wonderful football as the match progresses, gaining the confidence. Our officials just making sure that all is set, checking the goal mouth and the flags and making sure that the nets have got no holes. Malawi in the familiar red, a bit of black and green trimmings. They attacking the goal from the left to the right of your screen. And Lesotho, on the other hand, they are attacking the goal from the right to the left. Changing the goalkeeping department will tell you that it is some serious stuff out there. Second game to make their presence felt. The first one just shaking off a bit of inactivity, and the coach pretty comfortable with the players on display. The 2 changes for Malawi, 3 changes for Malawi. The young Deborah Henry at 22 years of age, look out for her, jersey number 11, scored 23 goals in 18 matches. She puts her hand up, young, tender age, called free scoring, and her nickname is Makango. So if you're from Malawi, you'll know what Makango means. That is the lion of Malawi. We have Sapitwa, who's operating in the middle. That is Letitia Chinemula, a fantastic player of note who plays football in Malawi, but also been part of the under-17 and under-20 conveyor belt. And we get underway, and it is the Lesotho outfit immediately asked questions. Those are the voices and the names behind it. Opening goal! That is immediate, and a goal kick it is. One would look at that moment and say, what a way to get started. It's pretty clear intentions that is being set out by Vanessa Fakula. Lesotho will be under pressure. So from the get-go, Henry looking to get their combination going, looking for the return ball, puff and pass, and a little bit of hesitancy from the captain, that is Phumzile Molefe, just allowing a turnover ball and giving it to the Malawians. There's a bit of a strong wind that is at about 15 kilometers per hour, and later on this evening there should be about 20% chance of rain. Good return ball on the wings as Malawi delivery. Last touch of Lesotho goes out for a corner. Sarah Mulambika will take the corner for Malawi. Some defending for Lesotho, not the tallest of players. Sarah Mulambika has got to look out for Vanessa Chikupila. Henry jumping highest in that moment is Mosala. Gets that ball away. Vanessa will send it right back in. Quickly being requested to make their way out of the defense, and looking to try and play the offside trap is Lesotho. Well, alongside me for this match this afternoon is Michelle. Michelle looking at the lineup of the two sides and looking at the formation. Just what is your approach of the coaches on either side?
Both of these sides, of course, Gloria, looking to get those 3 points in the bag after their first losses in those first games. And I'm looking towards a very strong Malawi side in front of attack. Just looking at some of those changes, like you mentioned, trying to strengthen their attack by removing Banda. This time out, Gondwe. She's somebody to look out for, like you mentioned earlier. Onset's going to be a good one. On the other side of Lesotho, I see they moved Chobe. They put on Chobe, and Molefe was dropped all the way down to the forward while she was in defense last time out in that first game against Angola. So I think Malawi, like you say, might be a little bit more advantage in that sense, but a lot more minutes to be played here.
Well, losing a footing at a vital moment, that is Tendai Grace Asani, who is really hogging the outside of the three-man midfield. Picked up yet again by Irene Khumalo. Brilliant! Irene Khumalo. Irene Khumalo, something that looked harmless. A goal that gets Malawi talking and celebrating, drawing first blood. Irene Khumalo beating the goalkeeper within. As we have a look at, she continued to run, took a shot, keeper got her hands to it, but was way off the line, and that was a very, very costly mistake for Lesotho.
Absolutely, keeper could have done a better job then. This type of moments where you understand the importance of marking for goalkeepers. She definitely would feel disappointed in the way she handled that situation there, to let that concession that early.
Well, almost from 30 yards out, Irene Khumalo has another opportunity, and that ball goes over the bar. This time, it is Sarah Mulumbika asking questions of the goalkeeper. Lesotho on the receiving end of a team that is pressing pretty high and playing with quite an attacking duo up front. Chikonde Gondwe, Deborah Henry and Vanessa Chipakula. Those are the players that you're going to have to really keep an eye on throughout the match.
One would say you raise questions of the Lesotho defense at this point in time, and you know when you concede this early on in the game, it shakes you up a bit as a defender.
It does, and it also disrupts the plan of the coach, who is hoping to try and mix it in these opening minutes. Henry! That is the snapshot coming from Makonda. She is diminutive. She does find the back of the net. She's the top goal scorer out in Malawi for the Flames. There's Lesotho climbing all over the captain. Ball taken forward, and it is Mahotso. Mahotso just loses out. Ball gone out to the right-hand side. Vanessa on the ball for Malawi. There's Henry looking for the return ball, and a little bit of a delay in that, but she apologizes to her teammates. That's Deborah Henry. Long ball from Lesotho. Bounce of the ball. Have to be quick and decisive in that defense for Lesotho. There's an urgency about Malawi. Players remained on the ground, grimacing in pain. It looks like Irene Khumalo. She's receiving treatment. Irene Khumalo operating in that back four. Player plays for Silver Stars and also been nominated as the best defender of the season that has just ended, and contributed or wore the jersey of Green Buffaloes out in Zambia at some point. But in Malawi's returned home to Silver Strikers, a team that is slowly taking control of the Women's League and is thereabout in the top three. Ball in the air. Header picked up. It is Letitia Chinyamula looking for that ball. Tendai Sani as Lesotho come away with it. Captain goes in, pretty strong challenge. Ball carried forward. Mahotso, who's always full of running. Malawi pick it up with Sani. Sani goes backwards in search of Benedetta Mkandawiri. Rose Alifanduka playing in the centre-back role with Chimwewe Madise. Ball on the far side, here's Lesotho. bundled off the ball. Makoto. Good run, good space available on the right-hand side. That is Malawi with Tendai. Playing it back to Khumalo. Good 1-2 from Benedetta Mkandawire. Well, running into each other, and the lack of communication pretty glaring. And Lesotho struggling to clear their lines and eventually get the last touch. A throw in for Jobe. It's been part of the under-20. Benedette Tendai Sani gives the ball away needlessly. There's Tendai. Once again, she's seeing a lot of the ball, doing ever so well to peel away from the defense, give Malawi the width and the creativity out on the right-hand side. Ball in the air, header from Sani, and the aggression that comes in from Vanessa Chikupila. There's a real live wire calling for it. Vanessa gets the response. Ball kept in play, and Henry! Deborah Henry makes it 2. She starts her scoring prowess. Little dynamite. Mokango is in the house. She gets her first goal of the tournament, and that is in the 9th minute.
And that is exactly why she started out today. That's the type of energy they needed up front. I think her impact already immaculate 10 minutes into this game.
Ball was thrown in, asking for it was Vanessa Chikupila. Did well to play the ball back, and Deborah coming in from deep, just behind the defense to sneak in and get that ball in. Well done for Deborah.
Absolutely. If you look at it from the other angle, one might have thought the ball would have gone out of play, but an incredible job to have been kept in.
Deborah yet again. That's another moment for Malawi. A brace for young Deborah, scoring in the 9th and the 10th minute. I mentioned the fact that she scored 23 goals in 18 matches. That is Deborah Henry. She is a player who positions herself very well, has the ability to read the game, runs in between the defense, and keeper had no chance.
And just like that, we are set for probably the highest goal-scoring match so far in the tournament.
Absolutely. A smile on the face for young Deborah Henry, the Silver Strikers player, giving Malawi a 2-goal cushion, 3-goal cushion. 2 quick goals, enough to deflate any opposition. According to Michelle, there's no comeback.
I have to say it now, trust me. It's very hard when this type of intensity is on.
Here's Henry. Brilliant! This time, not getting it on target, but popping up in the right places, looking for that quick supply. She's very fast. She is not selfish, and Malawi is asking all the right questions. Played short. Under pressure is goalkeeper Tabi Singh. Foul.
I'm starting to see some warm-ups already on the Lesotho bench.
Well, it's a good way to respond. Could this be one of those moments where South Africa, where Lesotho is on the receiving end? They were one of the teams in 2018 to lose all their matches. You go to 2020, losing in the group stages. And 2021, they did not participate in the tournament. 2022, 2023, 2024, losing out in the group stages. But they have been part of the COSAFA tournament since the inception in 2002. That is Lesotho. Vanessa.
I can say we might see a formation change from Lesotho. Probably more of a 5-4-5-1 or a 3-4-3, because sitting up with 3 attackers is, at this moment in time, when you've conceded 3 goals, is not always ideal.
Maybe they will need to pack the midfield, try and minimize the dominance of Malawi, who's done well with Sarah Milimbuka and Tendai Sani, not forgetting Letitia just in front of the back 4. Ball over the top. Lesotho win it back, and with some comfort, it's Rebecca Monese. Rebecca on the ball, but she's closed down by Sani. That ball trickles over the line for a throw-in. So Lesotho will get the opportunity to throw it in, as a goalkeeper looks very concerned. Her head is down. They made the change with the hope that they will be protecting the goal mouth, but defense leaving goalkeeper very much exposed is Mercy Sikelo.
Who's not seen much of the ball.
Oh yeah, she hasn't seen much of the ball. Irene, nice to see her having settled down, received treatment very early in the match. Henry is pretty much one of those diminutive players, plays the ball, gets into the space. She loves the return ball. She loves the quick passing. She's very robust, very tactically aware. Sani. Vanessa. Header coming in, brilliant off the line, and keeper eventually collects. While asking questions, Sarah Milimbuka coming on the right-hand side and tearing down the defenses. Vanessa spotting Sarah on the far side, and made a good connection on that ball, but the defense pretty alert and closing down. Well, 8 shots already in this match. Lesotho yet to get their first shot.
And 5 of them on target. That is absolutely insane.
I mean, that's brilliant in terms of return. Sharpshooters of note. They are calling them the Scorchers. It's not for no reason. I haven't seen a rampant Malawi side in a very, very long time. 15 minutes on the clock.
And that's why they're going to AFCON, or WAFCON rather.
Well, the first change for Lesotho, Mosala. Matseliso gives way, and her place is taken by number 13. Ball inside the box, cleared away. Just confirm the name of number 13 for Lesotho.
Tete is coming on, it seems like.
Well, jersey number 13 is Mtwaki Ntete.
As you can see, Malawi has really picked up those spaces, and the Lesotho defense, it's making so easier for them to freely push up front. They are building up so well from the midfield as well.
Showing good strength, ball played back, and this time picked up is Lesotho's attacker in Makhotso. Winning it back very quickly. There's a lovely ball coming in from Namane. Namane going into the box, and that ball whipped over the top. But Lesotho will be encouraged by that.
Decided to go for it herself. Not bad.
Well, it was a 3v2 situation.
And you never know.
Football is about opportunities taken. There's Malawi calling for it as Vanessa gets the response, gets in front of the defense, but the flag goes up, and many will probably look at that and disagree with the assistant, that is Rhoda.
Like myself.
That's why I have you next to me, Michelle.
I don't think that was close.
Well, Malawi, first offside of the match.
Quite impressive as well, seeing how
they do well to hold their line. Yes, they're seeing a lot of the ball, and players like Vanessa, experience of Gondwe as well, just really guiding themselves as that ball trickles over the line. You'd look at Lesotho and wonder, is in the first match they lost by 3-1 against Angola. They went into the break with a 2 goals disadvantage, and here they are having conceded 3.
Yeah, but I didn't concede a goal in the first 2 minutes of the game in that other game. So.
No, absolutely. They kept it tight. It's a throw in to Lesotho. As one looks at this tournament, 13th edition, gets closer and closer to our questions that are usually asked is, will we see a new champion? Well, very often South Africa, Zambia are in the mix.
I mean, if you for the love of the game, obviously, I think a lot of people would want to see a new champion.
Every year it is you're looking for the new champions, but the dominance of Zambia and South Africa contesting those knockout positions, and that ball this time goes directly into the hands of Anthems. Good run on the left-hand side. One would have also expected Vanessa to maybe cut in and challenge the goalkeeper in that moment.
And also Cloud did not start in the last game, but she did eventually come on, I believe, in the second half when they were 2-0 up.
Yeah.
I mean 2-0 down, rather.
With the intention to keep at bay Angola, which they did better in the second half, but and even getting a goal. So this is confirmation of the first 20 minutes, 3 goals in favor of Malawi. Deborah getting a brace in the 9th and the 10th minute respectively, but it was Irene Khumalo with a lovely ball from distance. And you're looking at such a huge chunk of possession belonging to the Scorchers, 70% almost. Lesotho barely having much, but look, with that possession they could get a goal. They can find the net for sure. A dummy being sold by Sarah Mulumbika. She's been part of the under-20s, the Sarah Mulumbika. Under pressure. And Debo Heleng uses a goalkeeper. Debo Heleng does well. Picks up Monese. And it's a high ball. A raindrop. Keeper gets a hand to it. It is Irene Khumalo looking to send that ball right back to find the back of the net.
The precision and accuracy
that was insane. Quite encouraging, absolutely. Look at how far that ball was, dipping at the right moment, and keeper's got to be given credit, watching it all the way until she made the save.
And she was lucky Gondwe was not somewhere lurking around there. She have picked it up.
Well, there's a player flat on her back. It's Sarah Mulumbika, who's been nominated in Malawi as the best midfielder. Let's have a look at the attempts of Malawi. It was a wonderful effort by Irene Chikupila in the first minute. Irene Khumalo then opening up the scoring and opening up the floodgates that started the celebrations. A mistake made, interception, and that was another attempt by Malawi. But here is the little one, that is Deborah Henry, getting her first goal in this tournament. And just keep an eye again how she peels away and in between the two defenders is not to be denied, continuing her free scoring spirit that she has. Yeah, again, Deborah was able to pick out an oncoming Irene Kumalo, but this time the ball was turned around and eventually deflected in such a way that goalkeeper Ntabi Singh made an important save.
Now keep in mind that Malawi will be looking to collect as many points as possible, because you cannot rule them out just yet in terms of qualifying for the semis, even though they have lost 3 points already.
Well, what Michelle is talking about is the rules of the tournament. We have 3 groups, 4 in Group A, 4 in Group B, and 3 in Group C. The winner of each group automatically goes into the knockout stages. But we're looking for a second best finisher that will give us the 4 semi-finalists. And in those matches, they will go straight to penalties. Should we not get a winner within regulation time? Talking of which, Vanessa with another chance, and very good reflexes. You got to look and compliment the hard work in that defense of Lesotho. Ramasoko Nteboheleng, pretty alert and exposed that backline that is in search of getting a few goals up front. So 1 apiece in terms of the corner count. Header away by Makhotso. Makhotso has company.
It's the little one, as you call her.
Yeah, the little one. Shortest on the field, tiniest, but deadliest, absolutely. This is what you talk of when they say dynamites come in small packages. That is a small package, but absolutely explosive. Always delivered cautiously into the box and a header away by Makhotso. And I think after that header, certainly a headache, and that was the earlier save made by the keeper, and a brilliant recovery by Ramasuku to deflect that ball away for a corner. And still struggling for the moment is Makhotso, and the 2 sets of players revert to the technical area to hydrate, and the coach will have to dig a lot deeper than he does normally in the half time when you are 3 goals behind in less than 30 minutes. Cooling break should come instead, in good stead for the players. Well, that is the analyst of Malawi who gives the thumbs up, who's done the homework and made sure he picked up the weakness of Lesotho.
How instrumental they are. We don't talk enough about the analysts, team analysts.
Absolutely. The back office, of course, is amazing how much work they get in. So the players return to the field. Drop ball. Lesotho will get it uncontested. And referee Gloria Kalivi looking to make a run up front is Molefe. Everywhere they go, they find a red jersey available. Everywhere they go, spaces are closed out. When you look at Lesotho trying to chase down the player, Malawi playing with a lot of freedom, Malawi playing with a lot of space. It's the long ball that has created the problems. The long ball that is looking for Vanessa in that very crucial space. But here's Lesotho stopped in her tracks, and it is Chimwewe Madise who's lost her footing, but quickly being helped up by Irene.
Like you were saying, the spaces have really been closed off, and everywhere you find a Malawian player. And that's really making it hard for Lesotho at this point in time to even try and get up front. you could maybe, they'll probably wish you at least get set pieces as chances to get on to goal.
That could be the quickest way to try and beat Mercy Sikelo, but her experience is also second to none. Here's a good run from Vanessa, looking for Tendai. Ball just skidding off the surface, and it goes out for a goal kick.
She's able to keep those in. I mean, we saw that second goal. As Lesotho still look to get one back. At least we have seen they've been able to keep Malawi from scoring for the last about 15 minutes or so.
It's a free kick right in front of the referee, and the referee just wanting Letitia to take it at the right place. Letitia Chinyamula. Kumar. Anyway, we'll do Fonsane on the receiving end. Good first touch. Looking to release Makgotso. Here's an opportunity for Lesotho. Makgotso! And that is straight into the hands of Mercy Sikelo. Quite a promising move for Lesotho, and you got to give them credit. She did ever so well to push the ball forward. She's got a good right foot on her, and also getting it on target will be encouraging.
And she was alone, so possibly no chance of getting it to anybody else up front.
Bernadette Mkandawire. Letitia Chinyamula. Switching play, looking for Irene Kumalo. Irene looking for Sarah Mulumbika. Mulumbika out to the left-hand side. And lurking and making a run, but spotted by Ramasuka is Vanessa Chikubila.
Really a push.
Pulling the player out of the way. Chikonde Gondwe, the 30-year-old Silver Strikers, forward. Bernadette Mkandawire. Mkandawire will deliver the cross. Nice ball, it hangs in the air. And Chikonde wasn't able to get much on it. Got a bit of a touch. It's Lesotho looking to make some runs forward. Mulife looking for another opportunity to get the ball up front. Look at the combinations from Makgotso. The offside is given. The referee responding to the assistant on the far side, Margaret Gimbo. Another ball that dissects the defense, but trickles all the way to Mercy Sikelo. She's very quick to launch an attack with Irene Kumalo on the left-hand side. Irene, at 23, also took an opportunity to leave home and go and play for Green Buffaloes. And, she's found her way back home. And, good experience that has been acquired. The Zambian league is not an easy one. But here's Bernadette Mkandawire.
I think one thing that you can commend Lesotho for so far, at least in this past few minutes, is a little bit tightening up of their defense. In Ramatsuku especially, she's been incredible up front so far.
Henry bundled off the ball, but eventually it goes out for a throw-in. 30 minutes, Malawi 3, Lesotho no. Ball boys who have put their hand ups and volunteered. Get the throw-in. Bernadette sends the ball right back and picks out Letitia Chinyamula. Bounce of the ball was well read by goalkeeper Ntabi Singh. Plays it short, invites trouble but does well. Eliminates one of the attackers all been left behind by Makgotso.
Malawi with quite a strong support system in the stands today.
Well, in South Africa, you will find Malawians, Namibians, Zimbabweans, all nations. And the good thing is that when you do have the teams coming into the country, the community comes together to support those players. And I think it's a wonderful gesture. So I guess it's just one way of trying to deal with missing home syndrome. Letitia and Vanessa, who tried to use her left foot this time around, doesn't get it on target.
Lesotho at least now with 2 shots in, as opposed to Malawi's 12. Shows that they have been actually trying, like I said, compared to the first 12 minutes of the game, and they got 1 on target. This is Malawi's 7.
Well, Malawi have really played very well the attacking game with the 4-3-3 formation coming to fold, coming to fruition. Here's the pace of Vanessa. Will she keep it in play? And gets the last touch, and looked like the assistant referee was calling for a goal kick, and many players thought it was a corner. I think she got that wrong. The full circumference of the ball had not crossed the line when the flag went up. So that is one that denied Malawi an opportunity to whip that ball in. Playing with confidence from the back, but also dangerous, is Ramasoku. Tendai Sani. Chimwewe. Quite fancy stuff from Mulumbika. Lesotho win it back. Mulifi, Kamori, Maloro. Play it short, looking at rotating the ball, and then we'll be looking for Makgotso up front, who's given them the attacking outlet. So 35 minutes in the bag for Lesotho. It's their backs against the wall. That ball goes out and trickles over the line. Looking for some delight. Fans trying to urge the players at every minute that is being played. Here's Henry. She's on a hat-trick. Denied by goalkeeper Ntabi Singh. She'll have to wait a little longer for that. There's a player on the ground being helped up. No, there's nobody there to help her up to her feet. It's Chikonde Gondwe. Got a bit of a nibble there from Ramasoku. Goalkeeper who's indicating to the bench that she needs some treatment. The Vuvuzelas have found their way to the stadium. And the miracle spray, the hamstring. Goalkeeper. Let's have a look at those goals. Ball was picked up in the middle of the park. Irene Kumalo let drip from distance. Keeper got her hands to it, and that ball just falling into the back of the net. And then the second one was a throw-in that picked up Vanessa, and she laid it on for young Deborah Henry, who was not done yet, and got another one, a second to her name.
That also puts her in the highest goal scorer so far in the tournament with 2 goals.
The saves made by the goalkeeper there as well, and who currently is receiving treatment and being helped up to her feet. Medical team just talking to her and wondering if she can continue, but I think she looks all well and good to get going. Malawi in the box. Vanessa! 4-0. Brilliant ball. Vanessa gets her goal. She's been very businesslike. On the 40th minute, ball just looped over the goalkeeper, watching the bounce of the ball, and a lovely touch that is nicely cushioned. And it's Henry as an assist, and Vanessa the goal scorer. So Malawi, before the break, have got the 4 goals. They're looking to fight for that second position. Free scoring Malawi. The Scorchers are quite menacing. Keeper Ramasoko. I did invite you to the Siseko Stadium. I did indicate that we're going to get plenty goals. And Deborah, who maybe could have pushed that one a little bit more and got closer to the goalkeeper, but look at that. She pickpockets and nibbles at anything that just is in and around her area. She goes route one. She only has one thing in mind: get the ball and go forward. That is Deborah. She does remind me of Sinokolo Pesane. Player using a pace. Chikupila.
Oh, that's lovely. Lovely defending.
Oh, she's been brilliant. Ramasoko and Debo Heleng. She's really been fantastic in that defense. And holding her head. So she landed, she hit her head pretty hard on the surface.
Not the first time.
Debo Heleng, Ramasoko goes in, sliding, gets the ball, and
no nonsense defending.
No, absolutely. But eventually she goes down. Didn't look like there was any contact with the head, but
yes.
Debo Heleng Ramasoko.
It might have been an aftermath of after she hit the ground, because I don't think there was any intention.
Well, the South African police are here in their numbers. Good to give comfort to the people who have come in the stadium in support of the COSAFA Championship. The women in particular, pride of the nation. Malawi, who have a number of former players. And, we also got the privilege to see the grannies that play football, who have been relentless in the fight for women's football. Ball in the box, and that ball, the attempt, goes straight into Ntabe Heleng Chikonde. She'll be looking to register her name on the report card of the referee. Mercy. She has no mercy as she releases Bernadette Mkandawiri. She goes up for everything. I think what is important here, we're seeing Malawi with 16 shots, Lesotho just 2. And the shots, also the returns, has been fantastic, with 11 of those 16 on target. Here's Henry. She turns into trouble, but ball picked up, and Lesotho will do enough to send it up front.
That position.
You've got to give credit, Michelle, to Makhoto, number 12 of Lesotho. No matter what the scoreline is, with 74% possession of Malawi, she still tries to chase down the ball. She still is looking to break through that defense, but she does need the support.
She does.
Lesotho in defense have just invited trouble, have been afraid to attack a little bit more, and inviting Malawi.
It seems like the likes of Molefe have gone a little bit more central.
Yep.
So she is up there alone when you look at it.
Gondwe. Modise used a bit of body strength to get down Chikonde Gondwe. We have about 3 minutes in this half. 3 minutes to make sure that can Malawi make it 5 before the break.
I think it might be.
Well, it's a 4-man wall, Michelle. And when you look at such, ball is simple. Goalkeeper makes a hash of it. And Irene Khumalo with the second goal in the first half, in the 44th minute. So Irene was on a brace, and the goalkeeper there will definitely take that one. The bounce of the ball, and the goalkeeper doesn't get a hold of it, and it goes into the back of the net. Very tame shot. When you looked at it, it didn't look like one that wants to create any problems of some sort, but nevertheless, it did give Malawi the 5 goals before the break, and that is before the 45th minute. So we still have referee's optional time to contend with,
which is 3 minutes. I mean, at this point in time, you're 5-0 down in the first half. It's quite discouraging, I can tell you.
But with the 5 goals, the crowd are really loving it. They want more goals. They've come here to see more goals. And 3 minutes is a long time for Lesotho. 3 minutes for that lady in your screen is one that you could look at and say, can I dig a hole and hide myself?
Yeah, and she has to take all the pressure because...
Oh, that is Irene Khumalo's goal that gives Malawi the 5 goal. She went to sleep. She knows she's let her team down. And we may see another change in the second half.
Definitely we'll have to go back to the drawing board, as they say, and make some changes during halftime for Lesotho, because clearly the game plan is not really going according to plan.
But you also got to look at Malawi. They are menacing. They are a team on a mission. This is the team that has qualified for their first ever AFCON. And the results speak for themselves. Yes, they came up against South Africa in the first game of the match, and one would look at that and say, rather than when there was still cold in the tournament, because as they progress, you really are seeing a team that is on a mission. And since they won 2023, they've really been on an upward trajectory.
Yeah. They have. Women's football, particularly in Malawi, they just had their league started for the first time, the National League.
And here's an opportunity for Lesotho. Good defending that gets the ball away. And it was Namane Reitumeti who fancied an opportunity, but because she's not getting the support, ran into trouble. Ramasoko Ntebele. Sani. Yes, Henry. Henry! Hat-trick! Hat-trick for Deborah Henry. Malawi, 6 goals to the good. A hat-trick for Deborah on debut. So, Little Dynamite makes it 6-0. Beautiful ball. Got the delivery. First touch with the left foot. Second touch was curtains.
I look back on this and wonder why Deborah did not play in that South Africa match.
Deborah was brought on pretty late.
Yeah, she was.
Had a few runs.
I remember.
But coach has to play rather cautiously. But this could be the answer to Malawi football. Not forgetting you've got Temwa and Tabita Chawinga, who have really been inspirational to the ladies on the field. As we talk about inspiration, the referee brings an end to the first 45 minutes. You have Irene Kumalo running riot from the left back position. We have Deborah Henry on the right-hand side for Malawi, getting into a huddle. Everything is going right for coach Fazili Lovemore. 6-0 to the good in the half-time. You look at those statistics, they tell you a very clear story. 18 goal attempts, 13 on target, with 79% of ball possession. I think that is clinical. That is very clear of Malawi's intention. Do join us for the next 45.
Both teams to score.
Be in the game.
Both teams to score.
Be in the game.
Substitution for Malawi coming out, jersey number 8, Grace Nai, out, jersey number 13, Vanessa, out, jersey number 18, Irene Kumalo coming in, Olivia Pikani in, jersey number 10, Lion James. From Lesotho substitution coming out, jersey number 6. Rabelang out, jersey number 8. Rebecca Monense out, jersey number 15. Kuzile Munife coming in, jersey number 7.
Welcome back to the second half. If you are just joining us, we're at the Sishiho Stadium for our match. It's Malawi and Lesotho, and the scoreline is indeed 6-0. It's not a rugby score, it is a score in which Malawi have really run riot in the first 45 minutes. A hat-trick by young Henry Deborah, and 2 goals by Irene Kumalo, and the 6th goal by Vanessa Chikupila. So Malawi is the team in Group A that is sitting just behind South Africa. Haven't lost their first match and are making amends in the second half. They have the luxury to make the changes. So I also look to my bench and I bring Rhoda Mlaudzi in the second half.
Thank you, Gloria. As you can see, the Malawian bench, they change their key player, which is Vanessa. I think it's a tactical change because they know they still have a last game to play against Angola, which is a tough one. So you better rest your best players.
Well, talking about resting your best players, the job is done. 6 is pretty much a high score for any team, and when you're looking at Lesotho, who really seem to be lacking the combinations, seem to be lacking structure, seem to be really found wanting in all departments of the field.
Yeah, they're lacking in all departments. They are not playing as a team. It's just individual brilliance. So I hope second half they'll bring a better performance.
Well, a better performance is what we all want to see here at the Sishiho Stadium. But here is Malawi already getting into the right positions, and it is Letitia Chinyamura who was asking the questions there, but not getting her shot on target. So player who's gone down is one of the better players in the Lesotho outfit. That's Nteboheleng Ramasuko, and that will be trouble should they lose her very early in this match. Clash. Ramasuka playing in that centre-back role. She's really been one of the go-to players that has maybe protected the goalkeeper to a certain extent and been the better defender.
Yeah, she's been a better defender. It's just unfortunate because the 3 goals they conceded, it was individual errors.
Well, individual errors. But, at the same time, you want them to play as a collective. Lesotho struggling to get out of that defense, inviting trouble. Malawi playing with or pressing pretty high, playing almost a high block or into a mid block. You're getting the numbers across the midfield, and here's an opportunity. Good ball there picked up by Sani, who's taken the captain's armband, and Sarah Mulumbuka tried to keep that ball in play, but was not able to do so.
Yeah, if you can look with Lesotho, they are defending too deep and they're inviting their opponents in their half, so it's hard for them to go out.
Well, it is difficult to get out of that position. And also, you got to look at this young side. They have an average age of about 23. Lesotho in a rebuilding phase. You're going to have to give them cut them some sort of slack. But this competition for women's football, it pits the young and old. Here's one of the future stars in Deborah Henry. She's been fantastic, hasn't she?
Oh, she's marvelous to watch. She's marvelous to watch. She's very skillful, know how to score goals. She's just marvelous to watch.
She gets into the right position. She expects the return ball when played into position. She's good in terms of her running and positioning. So I'm not too surprised that she's currently on a hat-trick. Ball into the box, but this time it is Mokgotso who gets it away. She's got a hat-trick, is Deborah Henry. Goals that were scored in the 9th, 10th minute, and then in the 46th minute, which was the injury time of the first half. And for Irene Khumalo, who has been substituted, she got a goal in the 44th minute, as well as the 6th minute. That's another ball, the 7th one of the match for Malawi. And we will be running out of space in terms of putting the goal scorers. Looks like Tendai Sani, the player getting onto the score sheet. In actual fact, one's got to be able to complement the work that is being done by the coach. 50 minutes on the clock. Here's the ball being played at the back. Henry just laying it back, and keeper had no chance. What do you do in a situation like this, Rhoda?
Yeah, it's a well-taken shot, and also I'm a bit disappointed with Lesotho defense. They are not protecting their goalkeeper. Sometimes just try so hard to block. Don't allow the striker to shoot. Well,
Mkandawiri is the player to get onto the score sheet. One of 3 changes. Mkandawiri. So, Mercy. Sikelo has got some organization to do in that defense. Bitumbiko. Ball in. Header that goes over the bar. Bitumbiko, who's playing her football out in Malawi. That header was an encouraging one. And Mokgotso, who's really been quite a live wire of Lesotho, jersey number 12. She's just needs the support. She's on the ball, but very slow in coming is the support to get her into the right positions. Very often she's got to drop a lot deeper to come and collect the ball and then go up front. Here she is yet again, and that was unfortunate. So she got a little bit of a nibble on her toes. Lesotho. So picked up in the middle by Letitia Chinyamula. The Scorchers going forward. And eventually running out of room. Kanawiri, Vitumbiko. Chikondi. Offside call being brought in, and when they do get into those encouraging positions at time, maybe Malawi can be a lot more deadlier. Just reading that as we have a look, spot on decision. Vitumbiko getting into the offside, but that is an earlier goal where she could not make a mistake and did not make that mistake and got Malawi's 7th of the match. Changes have been made by Lesotho. Here's an opportunity for Namane. Ball whipped in. Keeper makes a hash of it. And keeper had to collect it on a second attempt. Well, coming on in the second half is Lerato. So 7 games played, 22 goals being scored, and the game with the most matches has got to be this particular one. I don't think we've seen the end of the balls finding the back of the net. Could be one of the highest goal-scoring games in the tournament. Malawi really fighting for that second position, or the second best finisher. Under pressure is Letitia Chinyamula. Pikani. And Sarah Milumbuka gave chase. Pikani, who is one of the 2-3 changes that is made by the coach for Malawi. And he has the luxury, when you are in the lead with 7 goals, you have the luxury to rotate your players, to bring them on, and be able to give some a few minutes.
Yeah, of course, as a coach, I believe when you are leading by 7-0, you need to rotate your squad, because remember, this is a tournament where there's no enough rest, so you better rest your key players for the next game.
So players like Irene Kumalo, Vanessa Chikupila have done the job. You say, come sit next to me, and it's also better for them to watch the game from the sidelines and see what they can do differently, or how can they approach the next match. So with their backs against the wall, Lesotho will be looking to survive a major onslaught, and instrumental in that is Ramasoku. They haven't been disappointed, not at all. Plenty goals, some headers, some cross cutters, some set pieces, and Malawi have done it all. Keeper tries to save that, but that will go out and trickle for a corner. A situation that you don't want, because they don't have the tallest of the players, and Malawi have been very lethal in standard situations. This one will be played short and available is Pikani. Olivia plays it short. Can deliver the ball inside the box, and keeper sees it late. That's another mistake made by the keeper. The 8th goal of the match, and Pikani came on. She gets a goal, something that looked very harmless. So 8 goals in the 56th minute. Looks like every single one is going to get a goal in this match.
Yeah, including the coach, I guess.
Including the goalkeeper. It was harmless, played short. Pikani decided she'll go route one, getting that ball into the kitchen, as they say, with an intention to find Letitia Chinyamula. But the slip of the keeper was very devilish and unfortunate. When luck is not on your side, these kind of things are happening.
Yeah, it was an unfortunate goal. And also, let's give the credit to Malawi. It's something from training, I guess.
Olivia. It's just come on in the second half. There's a mistake, a rare mistake made in that defense, but great cover. Back four for Malawi. The 13th edition is to bring many surprises. Ball over the top, giving chase. Keeper Sikelo smothers that ball. She's been hardly tested, and that could be quite daunting for a goalkeeper who's not so involved in the match, and all of a sudden you get the ball going in there. She's got to probably find a way out and play like a keeper sweeper just to stay in the game.
Yeah, and just to also add numbers though.
Here's an opportunity for Malawi. It is Mkandawiri. Plays it back to Sani. Ball whipped in the air. Tipasula. And keeper collects that. Chinyamula. Pekani. Full of running. Playing the 1-2 and the return ball. On the edge of the box. Henry fighting for it is Letitia Chinyamula. For Lesotho, they're wondering when is the whistle going to blow as this match quickly reaches the 1 hour mark. Forced to go all the way back to the captain, Chimwewe. Chimwewe brings in Letitia Chinyamula. Switching play, Chinyamula. Back to Chinyamula. Rose Alifanduka. Henry turning into trouble. Picked up by Lesotho. Reitumesi Namane. Alifanduka is pushing her players up front. Chinyamula is a ball into the box. And a good connection made, but Malawi really running riot.
Yeah, they just want to keep on scoring. And my only concern with Lesotho, especially at the back, they don't defend as a team. There's too much gap in between the two center backs and the full backs. It's very concerning and very worrying.
Chabinda comes on. Goalkeeper change. Fanyana comes on for Lesotho. Are you surprised at that change?
Not at all.
She's conceded 8 goals in one match. Fanyana will come in. She started the first match and was on the receiving end. So Malawi having made 4 changes. Linda, James, Chabinda, Kandawire, and Pakani. It's probably very difficult to coach a side that has conceded 8 goals. So you need to soldier on and motivate those players, because what is important is for the players to want to continue to play, unlike just giving up. They came across a ruthless Malawian side on a very bad day that is prepared to take the game. Lina, Bernadette Mkandawire, Lina looking for Chimwewe. Good pass of the ball, and here's the oncoming brilliance of Chabinde. Chabinde, she was in an offside position, denied by the flag. She went too early in that move. She went too early is Chabinde. A rare opportunity for Mercy Sikelo to pick that ball up. Rhoda, I'm putting you on the bench. You are the Lesotho coach. What are you going to do differently?
Now the only thing that you can try to do as a coach is try to have a balanced midfielders, because now there's a gap in between the defense, the midfielders and the strikers. As I said before, they are playing individual football. There's no teamwork.
Ball into the box, header, and it misses that by inches. Well, the key is to connect your defense with your midfield. The key is to connect your midfield with the attack. And in this case, absolutely disjointed. And tormented. Here's another opportunity. Ball in the box and offside. That was another opportunity. Chikondi Gondwe, who had strayed in an offside position. Goalkeeper that's just come on. Fanyana is now grimacing in pain. So concerns for Lesotho. Concerns for Lesotho. Pikani. 3 players straying into an offside position. But you got to look at that and say Chikonde's turn was a brilliant one. But the keeper also had a leg at full stretch to deny that at the moment, and overstretching and eventually just injuring herself in that process. They are to be motivated for future footballers. They've come to see an avalanche of goals, and Malawi have responded in the best positive way. Says, run up, come join me up here. I'm lonely, but I'm not deprived of the action. It's been an avalanche of goals. Let's have a look at some of these goals that have been scored. It was Irene Kumalo who got us started with a beauty from distance. The keeper making a hash of it. The celebration started. Second up was Vanessa Chikpakula picking out Deborah Henry to make it 2-0. Henry was not done yet, cutting in between the defense and slicing them to make it 3-0. Eventually again Vanessa Chikpakula getting onto the score sheet. Irene with a bit of a stunner that also had the goalkeeper in 6s and 7s. Lovely take by Henry, and that was the 6th goal in the first half. And that is another one of those picked up by Vitumbira, and Malawi have really brought the sword. 8 goals in total. So keeper is still receiving treatment, or rather in is Pikani, picked up by Bernadette Mkandawire. Chinyamula, ball over the top. Goalkeeper will make her way. The ball boys have disappeared for the moment. Fanyan, 66 minutes on the clock. Malawi 8, Lesotho 0. I've got to share with the viewers at home. I have Rhoda alongside me, and she's struggling to comprehend the scoreline, shaking her head at every opportunity that is scored by Malawi. I think when a coach runs out of ideas and runs out of words, you must know things are bad. Here's an opportunity for Malawi yet again, but the ball intercepted, and it is hacked away by Insane. Ntebo Heleng is Mahotso. Chikondi on the ball for Malawi, picking out Chinyamula. Lena James on the far side is Bernadette Mkandawire. Showed some lovely runs and a delightful cross that is met with a great attitude and great determination. Ntebo Heleng Nsane. That's the coach of Lesotho, who's looking on and wondering what is the comeback strategy, if there is one. Deborah was looking for the return ball as Deborah, and playing it or sharing the ball with Vitumbiko on the right side.
If you can look, the Lesotho team psychologically, they look like a team that has given up already. But in this game, you don't give up. It doesn't matter how many goals you have conceded, but you keep playing.
Here's an opportunity for Mercy. And Deborah Henry with the fastest hat-trick of the tournament, or the first hat-trick of the tournament. It was 9-10 and 46, or 45 plus 1. So she joins the group of elites in terms of scoring those hat-tricks. Well, we'll go back to 2020, where Sibulelo Holweni scored 8 goals in 2020 tournament, followed by 5 goals. Again, the top scorer, it's again Holweni. You move further on, and the names started changing. Picked up a few players from Zambia, 4 goals in the last edition. Here's a ball inside the box, player crawling but trying to reach out. I'll share very quickly with you that statistic of the top scorers, Bikani. And the goalkeeper picks that up. Lesotho with Namane. I'm sure for Lesotho they'll want to put this behind them. They'll want to put this behind them. Playing with such freedom is Malawi, with the availability of players all over the park. Here's the first mistake. It is Makgotso. Can she punish? Beautiful effort. Makgotso gets the goal for Lesotho. No clean sheet for Mercy. She's worked hard, Makgotso. Gets a goal for her hard work. Maolosi Makgotso, she's been a predator, pouncing on that ball. The second 72nd minute goal, 1-2 report back home. Keeper, instead of punching that ball, the technique of the goalkeeper there needs to be questioned.
Another individual error.
Malawi, on the other hand, ball is cleared away for the moment. Captain of Lesotho, away by Ramasoko.
As I was saying, another individual error. And also I love the spirit of the Lesotho striker. She didn't give up. She's been looking for that goal. Eventually she got that goal.
Here's an opportunity by Henry, whipping that ball in and hitting the woodwork. Chavandiwa, and Chavandiwa getting in between the two defenders, leaping highest, but she wasn't able to beat the woodwork. But then from that, here's Lesotho on the opposite end, and lovely effort by Makgotso. Strike the ball wonderfully, great technique, and the keeper couldn't hold it.
It was a well-taken strike. Also, I think at this moment, Lesotho, they just need to stretch out the Malawian defense for them to play more, because we can see when the Malawian defense, when they are pressed, they become shaking.
Well, Maloro Kamore is being held onto her feet. That young man has called her the entire match to say, come sit next to me. And eventually Maloro's deciding she'll go join him, as Maloro with her boot in the hand being helped off by the medical team. That is very worrying. It doesn't look like she'll be back.
Not good news for Lesotho. They really do need the experience of Maloro.
In the meantime, it is Malawi. Mercy Sikelo is coming out, and Yamikani Kaonga will make her way. Kaonga. Yamikani. Yam Yam. They can't afford. The job is done. Mercy's done well, but she's conceded. And I think that is a concern for the bench, bearing in mind that they're still fighting for second position in the group or in the group standings to see if they can make the semi-finals. Header away by Lesotho. Benedette Kanawire has sent that ball right back where it came from, and it allows Lesotho, who seem to have their tails up after that goal was scored, looking a lot more enterprising when they get the opportunity. 15 minutes to go. 8-1. Chimwewe. Pikani. She apologizes to her teammates as Pikani. She came into the game, came in place of Irene Kumalo. Lesotho, they haven't given up, and that's what you want to see. They have the right attitude, prepared to learn, given that opportunity to keep sprouting their stuff, because it's not often that they get these tournaments to play in. So Ndete, here's Deborah. She's looking to get a double brace on the day. She has Chavinda to combine with. Kamori has been medicated and made her way back onto the field. 8-1 is the scoreline. Very difficult to accept for the coach, I'm sure. And for those at home, it's Henry. Pikani. Ball in the box. Lesotho. Aimless. Survival is key. Picked up by Chimwewe. Rose Alifanduka. They do have the ability, Lesotho, to knock the ball about. They've got a few skillful players. Another throw in, this time Pikani has been asked to take it at the right place. Picked up by the goal scorer Makhotso. Ramos, Ndete,
I love Mokgoto's attitude, because she just wants to score, regardless of how many goals we have conceded, but she still have that positive attitude of playing. And also I think it's also helping Lesotho now, because you can see now the energy is back. The only thing that they need to do is just to try play combination play and try to spread wide, because now the game is allowing them to do that.
The game is allowing, they're closing down a lot quicker. Malemo Mokgoto. Game is allowing them to, share the ball about. I think Malawi's taken their foot off the pedal, but not only that, the combinations have been broken with all the changes that have been made by the coach, and that allows Lesotho, gives them a window at least to give them hope. Here's another opportunity! Keeper makes the save. Same player, Mokgoto, doing ever so well, peeling away from the defense. You got to look at that run and how she creates space for herself.
Yeah, as a striker, you need to know when to create space for yourself. You need to know when to take that shot, or to use that opportunity.
Well, let's have a look at that. Did well to stay on side, and a good connection on the volley. And there we go. Really made a beauty of it, and gave the goalkeeper there, Kaonga Yamikani, an opportunity to get her touch on the ball. Pikani. Malawi forced backwards. Free kick for the team in red, the Scorchers. That's another one of the players, Ramasoko, who's been fantastic in that defense. Well, this is the team that one of Sundown's prized players should be playing. The Queen, Rabale, and these youngsters are players that would be benefiting from her availability. As we have a look at that ball in the air, and another effort, but that hits the side netting. Boitumelo Rabale is from Lesotho, plays for Mamelodi Sundowns, one of the top players in the HOLLYWOODBETS Super League. Been called to the squad, is on the squad list, but a no-show.
Yeah, they are missing the Rabale experience.
And I think when you have a player like that, the other players around you get activated. They want to be like you. The motivation is there to do better, to want to do well, to want to become like a Boitumelo. But one would really need to dig deep and find out what has really happened. Pikani looking to whip that ball in. But again, maybe it's these kind of results that are a little discouraging. But I still believe there's no greater honor than playing for your country.
It's an honor to play for your national team.
So another opportunity to conjure up a good move. It's a corner, ball delivered in the air, header! And the keeper makes another brilliant save. Breaking into that attack, using the counter-attack, but was quickly diffused. Malawi with Chavinda, keeper made that look easy. As Chavinda's run, an attempt with the left foot. Ball was delivered earlier on into the box, a header, and two players going for it. You had Mkandawiri, you also had Ali Funduka or Chikonda Gondwe. So Namane looking for the return ball. Mokgoto turns into trouble. Pikani. Ball picked up by Reitumeti Namane. Here's the hard-working and ever-present Mokhoto Mwalots. So she wears jersey number 12 and will remind people that she's not here to make the numbers. She's really one of those hungry players playing a football for Lijabatsu. Also have a team in Kick for Life that is responsible for the social change in Lesotho. They were one of the first teams in Lesotho to go professional and pay their players equally so as the men, and eventually over time Kick for Life was not able to balance the scales. Pikani, ball in the air, plucked by Chimwewe. Maybe when you get the opportunity, looking to try and send another high ball, and there's a free kick for a foul on Mokhoto. In the last 5 minutes of the 90, Rhoda, and in these last 5 minutes, the coaches are normally getting the players to switch on. What is, if you were on the touchline, what would your message be to Lesotho right now?
To Lesotho, I'll just encourage them. Let's keep on going forward. We'll eventually get that second goal.
Well, 8 fouls in this match. It was pretty much a free-flowing, clean game. The dominance of Malawi very glaring. The spaces that were created, the availability of the players, the referee not having much of a chance. Ramasoko! That was close. They want to keep that ball up front, but it is hacked away by Bernadette Mkandawiri. There's Pikani using the break. Bernadette on the ball, using a lanky frame. Yes, Henry eventually tracking back and fighting away. Mokhoto, I think the crowd is even saying, leave her, give her the grace, let her be on side. She's really won the hearts of the fans, and being rewarded as that earlier attempt. Oh. And keeper was at full stretch, but that would have beaten her hands down as Malawi on the other end decide to also go route one with Vitimbiko Mkandawire.
And also the introduction of Fanyana has changed the complexion of the game.
Oh, it did indeed. It gave them a little bit more confidence and stability. She is actually the number 1, and in the first game the coach decided he'll bring in Ntabi Singh. In this particular match, it was really a big ask. Mkandawiri, Vitimbiko. Throw in for Malawi. There's a yellow card that goes to Pikani. Olivia Pikani getting into the referee's book. Chikonde Gondwe is the one player that is looking to get onto the scoring. Mkandawire just loses out to a ball that is not that dangerous. Ramasuko just applying safety first. Malawi looks like they want to make it 10. Resilience shown by Lesotho in that defense particularly.
Yeah, as a coach, as a Malawian coach, I will demand for 2 goals, especially after conceding that goal.
Rhoda is a tough customer. And that ball goes out for a goal kick. Well, as punishment, you say, Rhoda, you'll ask for 2 goals.
Yeah, remember now you have considered a goal, and
Yep.
that goal you have considered, it can cost you a semi-final spot.
True that. 89 minutes. We're fast approaching the 90th minute. Just your summary, Rhoda, of these two sides. Let's first talk about Malawi. Is there anything they could have done differently?
Yeah, I believe, maybe I'm being selfish, but I believe they could have scored more than 8 today.
But in terms of structure, you happy with the structure?
They tick all the tactical aspect of the game for me today.
Okay, then we're looking at Lesotho.
And then for Lesotho also, they just need to go back to the drawing board and look at themselves, especially at the back. I'm just concerned more with their defending structure.
All the elements of defense really laid bare by Malawi, and 4 minutes is what is to be added. A header away on the edge of the box. 4 minutes for Lesotho to hold on, and Malawi can just be very simple and knock the ball about. I think at some point there's an element of respect that the coaches will be expecting. We still have a 17-0, which is the highest score of any team, and that was South Africa against Comoros. That is the record that still stands in this championship. A throw-in. Vitumbika. Mahotso. Chavinda. Good turn by Chavinda. Looking for the return ball. And the delivery is not good enough. Just possessed. Chavinda. Nkandawire. It's a throw-in for Malawi. Captain has been fantastic. I'm sure it is a tussle for player of the match. We'll get to see who that is. Well, it seems like Deborah has picked herself player of the match, and that award will be handed over by Mantlak Osibaka, the manager of sports and recreation in the city of Polokwane. Free kick. Bikani. Henry tussling away. A good showing indeed by the diminutive attacker. That ball by Gondwe. It's hacked away. Gondwe goes down. Yeah. She's holding her leg, Gondwe. This is how she got injured.
A hard-working midfielder.
Very, very hard-working midfielder. And you want to see such players really being credited. She hasn't got a goal, but her work rate was impressive. And Fanyana just organizing her defense with 4 players in the wall. Everyone else a bit loose, so should be picking up someone. Well, Chavinda decides to go to Bikani on the left-hand side. Ball is in the air, wasted ball at that for Malawi, but they have every right to try every trick in the book and are hoping and preparing themselves for their next match. And Malawi will be up against Angola, a difficult match for both of them. Lesotho will be up against Banyana, and if 8 is the scoreline, could they be in for another high-scoring match? Well, the conditions have been brilliant. It hasn't been too hot. There's been a lovely breeze. At times, it's made life rather difficult, but the players have soldiered on and appreciated the conditions. Referee Lorena brings an end to the 90 minutes, and Deborah Henry with her hands on her head in disbelief that she got the first hat-trick of the tournament. Her contribution was absolutely immense, and Lesotho were taken to the cleaners. We confirm the scoreline as Malawi 8, Lesotho 1. Deborah Henry, the player of the match from the Seshego Stadium. It was a good day at the office. It was a fantastic day of football. We got the most goals in this group, 81% for Malawi and 19% for Lesotho. It was South Africa that started the day, winning that match by 2-0, and the second match is Malawi and Lesotho. In pole position is South Africa with 6 points, Malawi 3 points, Angola 3 points, Lesotho yet to get a point in this tournament. So that's how it ends from myself and the team out at the Seshego Stadium. We'll have a look at some wonderful moments that started the match, and that is the display of the player of the match, Deborah Henry, getting onto the score sheet. Those were her goals. Delightful play, diminutive player, a player of the future, and a player to look out for. From myself, it's a good afternoon and goodbye.